Bob, much of what we've seen so far interrelates with the control and the positioning and the constant monitoring of the bird. That is to say, you've got functions that work both ways. This room, I would think, would discourage anybody who thinks that they may want to build their own uplink terminal in one great big hurry. There is a fantastic amount of gear in here, a lot of noise, and a whole lot of RF power. Can you tell us what we're seeing?
Well, basically what we're seeing here is that the equipment behind me is the transmitters to support the cable TV industry from the Vernon Valley facility. We have 6 3.5 kilowatt air-cooled Klystron transmitters which are in operation 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In addition to that, on the far end is the exciter rack, which contains the actual uplink equipment, which is driving the individual transmitters. As I mentioned before, Vernon Valley has been designed and built with a tremendous amount of flexibility. One of the things that we've done is that we have made it possible through modifications to the waveguide plumbing system here at Vernon that give us the capability of routing the signals from the transmitters to any transponder on any one of the satellites, whether it be vertical or horizontal polarization. If you'll step around this way...
I might add, as we slowly walk around the corner, that we're going to see a one-only piece of hardware in terms of the way you put it together. And I hope you'll take a minute or so and explain not only what we're seeing, but the fact that you build it all here.
Right. Well, what you're looking at here is the combiner system, the waveguides which are running above the overhead racks, and the waveguides which you cannot see, which are running under the floor, and the combiner plates to the rear, route the signals as they leave the HPAs through the proper or appropriate filter to limit the bandwidth of the transmitter, and also the switching involved allows us to switch the signals either to the communications antenna, which is pointed at the F2 spacecraft, or the TT&C antenna, which is pointed at the F1 spacecraft. Because of the complexity of this system, it would be physically impossible to make drawings or respond in a reasonable period of time with the needs of the cable industry and with the needs of our own domestic network. So therefore, we do most or a lot of the fabrication of the waveguide right within the facility so that we can custom fit what has to be done in the event that we have a specific need to do so. While we're talking about that, there was an incident which occurred on the 21st of June of this year where there were some rumors about problems or so forth, but a very simple explanation of what was going on was, as all you are aware of, we were, for a period of time prior to the cutover to the F1 spacecraft, simultaneously feeding the same signals both to the F2 spacecraft and to the F1 spacecraft. What we were doing on the 21st of June was we were removing that capability and rearranging it so that we would be able to still in the future be able to do what we did before, but in the opposite direction. In other words, feed signals that are on F1 to F2 simultaneously, but at the same time during normal operations we had to be able to terminate that double-fed signal into something. What we terminated it into and what we were doing on the 21st of June was installing a 12 kW dummy load, which is presently absorbing the energy which would, if it was not doing that, would be feeding the F2 spacecraft.
So during that infamous incident on the 21st of June when there was some variation in signal level and so on, it was actually caused right here by you and your crew as you were in the process of installing this dummy load, right?
Yes, sir, and we were frantically running, knowing that we had a deadline to meet to make sure that everybody was ready to go, and there was an awful lot of hoping that the measurements that we had taken and the things that we had fabricated would fit.
And it did, though, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure did, and we had no problems installing it. It was a couple of hours, but everything worked out very, very well, and we were extremely happy with the result.
So there we have another mystery unraveled, a mystery that's been with us since Why don't we move out here in the light just a little bit if we're going to stand and talk for a second. Another mystery unraveled that's been with us since the middle of June. There wasn't anything wrong with the bird at all, was there?
Absolutely nothing wrong at all. It was just a matter of doing some work here at Vernon that had to be done to give us the flexibility necessary to support your industry and to support all our customers so that we would have a more reliable system.
As a matter of form, in the future, you've got ahead of you the addition of some additional transmitters. We are now aware that there are 4 or 5 additional video users that are about to go into service for the 1st of January. I'm told that at any rate. You're going to do some retrofitting here. Does that also mean that you're going to do some plumbing changes?
Yeah, that means that we're going through the plumbing change again, but because of the work that we did back in June and back over the months after the first of the year, it's a lot simpler now. It makes life a lot easier. This facility is probably, to say the least, one of the largest in the domestic network of any system. It's extremely complex, but because of the way it is designed, it has the flexibility which we feel it should have.
Will there be any downtime like the 21st of June? And if so, will you tell us it's coming this time?
Well, I don't know if we're going to tell you if it's coming, but I will guarantee you one thing, that the signals that are there that are for the cable TV industry will always be there. We will never do anything to jeopardize that service. The work is, or we try to work during off hours when there is no active programming in progress, and we always assure that we're back to our original configuration or an equally as good a configuration prior to going to air with any of our programming.
So this time, fellas, let's not cry wolf when the signals suddenly burp and burble. Understand that probably it's young Robert and his crew doing some plumbing changes. Bob, thank you very much. Now, you have been a prince. It certainly, well, it has for me too. And you're a prince of a fellow, and keep up the good work.
Well, we'll try, and as I said before, we're always willing to help. And if somebody has a problem, instead of contemplating what it could be, if you have a question, we're only a phone call away.
Thank you, Bob.